Okay, here's a little tour of the garden. Just started tilling up. And actually, this doesn't really take that long to till. I've got a little mantis tiller that I use, and it does wonders. I mean, I can make quick work of this, but it's also easier because, the last couple of years we've gotten most of the rocks out and debris, so it's pretty nice, rich soil. And now that it's tilled up, I've got a bunch of stuff I'm going to put in here as far as amendments. A little bit more nutrient rich, but so far it's pretty dark, pretty good. We put a ton of manure in the last couple of years, so we don't really need much. It's very windy out here, so you're going to see a bunch of sticks and leaves blowing all over the place, but it'll all get cleared out. Got a few brush piles left. We have a few things that are growing, that started growing from last year. We've got our strawberry patch. That's the strawberry patch. These little benches are for sitting, but then we've also got netting that we throw over that. And those guys are all coming in. So we've got all of our strawberries coming in, and all of these little vines you see are actually strawberry vines. So they're all in the ground and connected to each other. So it's a really hardy, healthy patch, and we're going to get a lot of strawberries this year, which I'm super excited about because I really want some strawberry pie and some other desserts. We have some kale coming in. Now, this was all the kale bed, but I decided to get rid of it, or most of it, because I planted a couple different types of kale, and I didn't like most of them, except the back ones, so I kept these guys. You can see those are nice and green and coming in, and there's another one down here somewhere, and another one right here, but I've got little kale plants that I'm going to put in here in the next couple days because they're hardy enough. They've been growing, they're good. We have our rhubarb. We call them our woobob. Our woobob is coming back in, so it's hard to see, but they're these stalks, which are pretty big. I mean, they're I don't know, probably 2 inches in diameter. So these are woobobs. And we got one that's growing some leaves. This little green leaf, a little red leaf. They grow at the base of these stalks, so you don't want to clip them too low or else you'll kill them. And then we've got some garlic. Now, all of these are our raspberry bushes. They grew from under the other side of the fence. We're okay with that. They can take up a little bit of room, but we're not going to let them get past this line here. But we've got garlic back in there that started growing. I don't know if we forgot to pull it, or I don't know, it might have gotten lost in there. Once the berry bushes were kind of in full bloom, and we had lettuce all in here and carrots. I don't know, I think I might have just forgot about a few rows of garlic, and then they populated back there, but which is nice. That way we don't have to worry about planting a lot of garlic, because we must have 30 or so garlic plants back here. That's great. But yeah, it's all nice and tilled up. A couple spots I need to fix and get the edge. Back here, this is the raspberry patch. Oh, this is just raspberry bushes. And that's the peach tree. They gave us one peach last year because we had a hard freeze. This is where we had squash last year. So we had our onion patch, we had our squash, and then a couple other overflow tomatoes and overflow corn. So I'm not sure if I haven't actually laid out the garden this year. I haven't planned it out yet, which I'll do that tonight. Kind of figure out if we want to rotate things and where we want to put them. But this is where the overflow was for tomatoes and corn. All that was the squash and the onions. And then we had some bunching onions over here and some more little boiler onions for stews and things. These are, I love these guys. The sunflowers, those were so tall. You can see the line of them. So we're going to cut those down, plant more sunflowers this way because we will feed them to the birds, which is great. We were eating them and roasting them, and then we were also giving the extras over to the wild birds, but now that we actually have chickens and quail, we can give those to them. So we have onions over here. It's very, very windy, but this was all potatoes. And I'm not sure if we're going to move the potato patch where the squash were, or if we're going to, I have no idea what we're going to do. But it'll be good. We are going to expand. Here's the corn patch. Our little cornfield, mini cornfield. We definitely want to plant more corn. We had a good amount, but we definitely need like 2 to 3 times as much. So, and it grew really well out here. The corn we planted was pretty hardy, and we also grew, the popcorn was over there, and this was all the regular eating corn. But now we want to grow more corn to eat, more popcorn, and a bunch of feed corn. So this is going to be, wall will be moved here, and all this is going to be tilled up. Keep going, all this will be tilled up. So the corn patch. But now that we've got birds, and we want all the birds, it'll be big, it'll be nice. Probably still won't have as much as we need to eat. The last portion we're going to till up ooh, it's windy out here today. Is the grain area. So we're going to have on the side of the house, we've got this huge area that I'm going to use for just growing grain. I'm going to have a bunch of wheat back here. Wheat, millet, and a couple other things. So it's about, doesn't look that big on camera, but it actually is. So this is a good 6 feet wide, maybe a little bit more, and it goes the entire length of the house. So just got to clear it out of the brush. And yeah, it'll be all food for the birds and some wheat for us, which will be nice. And that's pretty much it. We're gonna stop there, and that's all I can personally handle without getting some more equipment. Any more than that, and it's just gonna be too much. Here's the quail pen. You can see the wind knocked over one of their waters. It's so windy out, they're not coming out. And then the chickens are going to go, I should have shown this earlier back here. Okay, so the chickens are going to go back in the bee pen back there. But we got to get the beehive set up since the bear got in there this past year and destroyed all our beehives. And it got in there and ate most of the combs. So now we're putting a roof on this. If you can see it. Well, kind of. There we go. So we're putting a roof up here. So this is all going to be enclosed. We're making a door right over here, and the chicken coop is going to be attached to this. So the chickens will come in here, and the great thing about chickens and bees is they can live together, and they live together really well. So whatever dead bees are laying around outside the hive, the chickens will come and clean up. And unless one of the chickens, gets in there and starts pecking at the hive, they'll leave her alone. So this is a really good spot. It'll be enclosed. The chickens will be safe. They'll eat all the dead bees. It'll keep the beehives nice and clean, and it'll make the bees healthier. So it's really, really nice little symbiotic relationship happening there, that will be happening there. And that's it. And I can't wait to get everything planned out and tilled and done.